All right, we're going to go through this. We're also going to go through the fact that by the time this came out, I already knew Claire Jordan. When did this come out? This would be 11/19/2022. That's November 19th of 2022. So let's read this. Abuse and neglect. Now, I had to go to the hospital to try to turn in abuse and neglect, and I explained to them at the hospital that the people who were abusing me and neglecting me included police officers, the people at CARE, the people at Tides of Change, and of course, the people at TFCC. Now let's read what it says. After I've explained this to them and told them I'm trying to turn in deputies and police officers for crimes that they were committing, and yes, that's a very real situation. I did record them. Like you might have noticed with many of the recordings on my channel, the things that they want to pretend are delusional obviously are not delusions. If they want to pretend that somebody punching me in the head is a delusion, and I have a video of somebody punching me in the head, well, then it's obviously not a delusion. So through this, it says, please continue to follow up with local resources, Tides of Change, CARE, Helping Hands, or local sites that may be able to provide advocates. And did any of them provide an advocate? No, not a single one of them. Apparently, they only advocate for housing. And that also includes TFCC, by the way. It also says, more importantly, I will send a referral to TFCC for counseling as well as for advocacy. Well, I didn't get advocacy from TFCC now, did I? And as far as counseling, I didn't need counseling. I needed somebody to help me turn in fucking abuse. I needed somebody to help me to turn in fucking assaults. Jesus fucking goddamn Christ. Meanwhile, this is also while I was trying to turn in Lynn Lothman, and instead of being able to turn him into one of his superiors, he showed up. And by law, they're supposed to tell him to leave, and they didn't. They let him bully me in that fucking hospital. Then it says, if you are feeling suicidal, have a plan, please seek care at our local ER. With all due respect, I didn't go there over suicide. I went over there over physical goddamn assaults. It says, you are not alone. There is good support in the community. Don't fucking lie. It says, please continue to locate the time within each video for hard evidence required by the police to file an investigation. Well, it doesn't fucking matter what I do when the cops won't fucking look at it. They won't send me a goddamn link I can send evidence to, and they won't fucking investigate. So let's focus on reading some more and making sure that we remember to put some grr in our voice so that you understand that this is not a fucking bullshit situation where it's some schizophrenic goddamn delusion. Now let's read this bullshit. See, they're literally sending me to all the places that absolutely refused. Some of these places, like Tides of Change, went out of their way to make it impossible to even fill out a protection order piece of paper. The woman's name is Monica. I still have her card. She knew that I had to have access for my computer to plug it in, or it wouldn't work, and I couldn't look up any of the shit that she was fucking asking for because it was 9 o'clock at goddamn night. It's not that I'm not making the effort. It's that these people are doing everything they can to make it impossible to send them goddamn evidence. I don't have a single fucking friend helping me to do this. I got to rely on people who are severely fucked in the head and people who are strung out on fucking drugs. And then I'm told that it's my fault those people take advantage of me. No, it's fucking not. I didn't choose to get stolen from. I didn't choose to get forced into this situation. And I certainly didn't choose for law enforcement to be pieces of shit to the fucking homeless. Same as everybody else in this goddamn town. If I ask for help, you're not going to help me. You're going to tell me what to do. You're going to make zero effort to help me. You're not going to listen to the fucking situation. You're not going to look at any of the evidence of what the fucking cops or these other people have done to me. You're just going to tell me to do shit. And if I'm not able to do it, you'll treat me like shit for doing that. And if I get angry and raise my goddamn voice because I'm sick of this shit, you'll pretend I'm some sort of goddamn predator out to hurt you. Meanwhile, I have to listen to this shit every goddamn night. Now it says, abuse and neglect refers to any way in which someone physically or emotionally harms to take advantage of an older person. Now this is also supposed to apply to the disabled. But then again, it doesn't say disabled, so when these mandatory reporters who aren't trained look it up on the internet, they say, oh, it's just for children. You're not a children. Well, actually, maybe you should look it up and actually type in the words disabled. So it says, abuse and neglect refers to any way in which someone physically or emotionally harms or take advantage of an older person. It also includes neglecting to protect an older person from physical, financial, or emotional harm. These people don't care. See, they've already established that I have no rights. They call me mentally ill and pretend that I'm delusional. And then all of the rights that I have as a human being are taken away. And none of you care. As long as it's not happening to you, it's okay. Now let's read some more of this. What are the different types of abuse and neglect? The different types of abuse and neglect include physical abuse. This includes rough handling, threats with a weapon, throwing objects, pushing, hitting, hair pulling, force feeding, and improper use of restraints or medicines. So most of those I had to deal with in the jail. Most of them. Sexual abuse involves unwanted sexual contact that is forced or tricked. Emotional abuse. This includes verbal attacks, rejection, humiliation, intimidation, social isolation, or threats. Abuse may also include denying the person participation in decisions that affect his or her life. Now, when I try to turn in abuse, these people absolutely refuse. Then they call me mentally ill to deny me the ability or right to participate in decisions that affect my life. That's right. In the courts, repeatedly, they prevented me from even being allowed to go to court. That's illegal. They prevented me from being able to turn in my abusers by repeatedly calling me mentally ill and locking me up on false charges. Here it says financial abuse. This includes theft, fraud, and improper use of influence to gain control over money or property. Financial abuse is the most common form of elder abuse. By the way, I've had to deal with a lot of that. But what happens when I try to turn it in? I'm told that it's my fault. No, it's not my fault that mandatory reporters do not take their job seriously, and I am repeatedly taken advantage of, including financially, by these people. Neglect. This is a caretaker's failure or refusal to meet the needs of an older person. This can include failure or refusal to provide food, shelter, clothing, personal hygiene, medical care, and social stimulation. When you try to tell on a bad cop, they do everything to socially isolate you and prevent you from having any social stimulation other than threats and harassment and the schizophrenic screaming in the goddamn cell next to you. Said, what are the risk factors for abuse and neglect? Elder abuse is more likely to occur if a person is, and this right here is the main one, this is what my predators keep doing to me. This is also what having to move over and over and over again does to me. It means that I am alone everywhere that I go. I am isolated, and yes, I'm lonely. I don't have any friends or family. Every time that I have to move to a new place, I have to start over with nothing. It says, has experienced a recent loss. Well, I've experienced a lot of recent losses, but you guys don't care because it's too much fun to treat me like shit for your goddamn entertainment. It says, is mentally or physically disabled. Well, I happen to be both. So instead of these guys doing their job to help stop this and to identify these risk factors that I absolutely fall under, no, they ignore it. They use my mental and physical disabilities as an excuse to ignore the situation by pretending that I have mental disabilities that I don't and that my physical disabilities don't exist. And they refuse to look at any paperwork that shows otherwise. Let's go to the next part. Cannot manage his or her personal care or finances. Obviously, I can't. It takes resources, and I'm fucking disabled. I don't have the goddamn money, and I'm stuck in a goddamn tent because not one fucking person cares about the abuse I'm enduring. Not one goddamn person. In all these years, all people have shown is that they will pretend to care if they want something. Not one person has ever taken a look at the evidence and helped me to turn it in. Not one person has ever tried. And you can see the people who have offered, overwhelmingly, all of them have taken advantage of me. All of them have helped my predators to get away. All of them withheld evidence or destroyed evidence. There is no way in hell to get help without somebody who's actually willing to look at this. Look at it. Read this shit before you go telling me advice. Find out what I've had to do already before you tell me advice. Instead of treating me like there's no reason to try turning it in with somebody because they abused me when I went in by myself, keep in mind that the only reason that they abused me is because I went in by myself. That is not a valid excuse for being a piece of shit. Now let's read some more of this. Now this all applies to every single person who pretended like they were going to help me, to every single person who pretended like they were going to help, who pretended to care. Let's take a look at this. Has contact with someone who abuses drugs or alcohol. Well, that would be literally everybody. I don't have any friends. None. I'm homeless. Homeless people don't get to have friends. The other homeless will rip us off. They will cheat from us. They will steal. They will rape us if they can get away with it. Okay? So I have to depend on people in houses who just want to talk about themselves and tell me to do things that they have the resources for. They have the resources to do those things. So maybe, I don't know, maybe they could help to turn it in instead of telling me to do it without those resources. Maybe they could actually help. Instead of giving advice, why don't they find out what I have and what I don't, what I'm capable of and what I'm not? How about find out the situation before trying to be a shitty person to somebody who's barely holding it fucking together? Now let's read some more of this. It says, is over 75 years old. The frequency of abuse increases with advancing age. Lives at a care facility with a shortage of beds, too many patients, or not enough staff. And by the way, that facility also includes jails and or hospitals. It says abuse may occur with caregivers who are under great stress. This may be due to financial, partial, or work problems, a recent decline in health, or loss of a loved one. Now, this is all stuff that's important because this is all of the excuses that I'm getting. These excuses don't validate abuse. If somebody is assaulting you, don't go assaulting homeless people. Defend yourself against the person who's assaulting you. Unless you're homeless, in which case they're just going to arrest you either way. If you're homeless, your best option is to, well, I won't even say that because it'd get me in trouble. It also says abuse may also occur with caregivers who have a history of mental illness such as depression or mental disability. So I'm having to deal with other people with severe mental illnesses, but these aren't my caregivers, are they? Well, some of them are. In the jail, some of those people had severe mental issues. Of course, they hired them anyway. And that's the thing about not having a caregiver. I can't protect myself. I can't defend myself. And I'm treated like I'm schizophrenic. Meanwhile, even though there's years and years and years of paperwork showing that I am neither schizophrenic nor delusional, over and over and over again, when I have to move somewhere new, they use their rubber stamps to try again to diagnose me with schizophrenia or delusional disorder, despite the fact that the evidence shows that I'm neither. But of course, I have to depend on selfish people for help. Here's the thing. In all the years that I've been out here, I've noticed that you cannot become a drug addict unless you are a selfish person. You have to be a selfish person to become a drug addict. Trauma is not good enough. Trauma and selfishness is what leads to addiction. Selfishness. Why don't I abuse drugs or alcohol? Because I'm not selfish. I had a choice between drugs and my friends or family. I chose my friends or family. They chose drugs. So I understand wholeheartedly that it's not my decision and not to blame myself for it. How do I know if someone is being abused or neglected? Well, number one, they will tell you. But if they can't tell you, then that's what the rest of this is for. Has physical signs of abuse, such as injuries to the skin, such as burns, scars, bruises, sores, rashes, broken bones, weight loss, injury to the genitals, difficulty walking. Does not have necessary medical and personal items, such as medicines, hearing aids, or eyeglasses, shows behavioral signs of abuse or neglect. What are the behavioral signs of abuse or neglect? All the things that you guys pretend I'm schizophrenic and delusional over saying. Oh, God damn it. There is no way to set this up nicely. I'm sorry that I don't have a nice fucking studio to show you this shit with. Now let's read some more. Fucking God damn it. My cord isn't long enough. I need to keep my phone plugged in so that it doesn't die on me. And of course, trying to read this shit while having to find a position where I can put this. You're noticing what I'm having to fucking work with here. Nothing. Every single person who said that they were going to help me turn it in ended up being a scammer. If they wanted to help turn it in, they would have helped turn it in right away, not bullshit me, not fucking lie to me. They would have made a fucking written goddamn report. That's what they would have fucking done. The reason Claire has never done that is because she's a piece of shit. She still had access to a lot of these things. She had access to a lot of help. But she wasn't interested in the help. She just wanted to bitch that nobody would help her. I offered to help turn it in right away. I offered to look at evidence. And she offered to help me the same way. The difference is, I kept my word, and she did not. She would make whatever promises it took to get what she wanted. Just like the rest of you. It says, does not have, shows behavioral signs of abuse or neglect. The older person may move away from or seem afraid of a caregiver. Doesn't necessarily have to be a caregiver, by the way. You can change that word to predator, because if the caregiver is harming them, that caregiver is a predator. It says they will socially withdraw, become violent or agitated. Well, there's a big difference between agitated and violent. If somebody's agitated, and you intentionally agitate it further by getting violent with them, and then pretending you were afraid they were going to get violent, you're just a piece of shit. You shouldn't have agitated the situation to begin with. Obviously, I'm fucking agitated. I'm having to take this abuse and nobody fucking gives a shit. It says they seem depressed. Well, no fucking shit. So if they're being abused and they show these signs, what do? You pretend they're schizophrenic and say they need drugs. You fucking morons. Then it says have nightmares or difficulty sleeping. Yeah, those nightmares are part of having PTSD. The same thing with the difficulty sleeping. But then, what do? You pretend that because I'm having difficulty sleeping and having nightmares, I must be on drugs. You're a fucking idiot. It says lives in an unhealthy or unsafe environment. Well, no shit. Do I want to live in an unhealthy or unsafe fucking environment? No, I don't. I was victimized out of every goddamn thing I had. Said shows signs of not being cared for, such as poor hygiene or dirty clothes. Well, no fucking shit. It costs money to fucking bathe. It costs money to fucking shower. It costs money to wash your fucking clothes. I don't get enough money to fucking live on. I wash my clothes once a fucking month because that's all I can afford. Now we're on to page 3 of this bullshit. It says, how can elder abuse be prevented? If you're a family member or a friend, that's right. They don't even address me first because I can't prevent it. I can't. It is impossible for me to prevent this abuse unless I end my own life or get someone else to listen, a friend or family member right fucking here. Let's read this goddamn bullshit for you fucking idiots. Try to see the person regularly. Not one person tried to see me regularly. Before or after Natalie was killed. Not even one. None of them cared. That was the situation that forced me into homelessness. Right there. Abuse from people who pretended to be my friends. If they were my friends, instead of repeatedly interrupting me to give me advice based on knowing jack shit because they repeatedly interrupted me. That's what they wanted to do to help. They wanted to give me advice. Well, great. Advice based on what? You don't know anything. Did they come to see me? No, I had to spend hundreds upon hundreds of dollars to go see these people. Because they promised they would help me. And after traveling hundreds of miles to see them every single visit, what happened? What happened when I drove all the way from Chapel, Nebraska to see Kayla Trujillo, who was going to help me to turn this stuff in? Nothing. Instead of keeping her word, her and her husband or boyfriend played video games all night. Yeah, that was nice of her. She told me she'd help me the next day. Well, the next day she had excuses too. There's always an excuse. It says, get to know the staff who are taking care of the person. Is anyone going in with me? No. How are they going to know jack shit about the situation or the staff I'm having to turn in this abuse to? It says, express any concerns you may have right away. Keep notes on the conversations. Well, gee, holy hell, it's almost like I knew this stuff before I got this piece of paper. It's almost like I've been telling these people all along the help that I fucking need. It's almost like they pretended that I'm retarded. It's almost like they refused to look at this, and after refusing to look at it, want to continue pretending I'm retarded. Holy shit. Did anybody express any of these concerns? No, never. Not once ever. They say these things to me, but did they turn them in? No, not ever. In order to turn these pieces of shit in, I have to gain access to that evidence, which I can't get without an attorney, which I can't get without money and either a friend or family member who cares. It says, take pictures if there are signs of abuse or poor health standards. Well, is anybody doing that? No, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Y'all got your scapegoat, and now you think it's fine to keep on fucking with me despite the fact I didn't do anything wrong. I did things out of desperation. It says, offer to accompany the person to medical appointments, financial institutions, and other important meetings. You know what? These people don't offer. I have to beg them. And even if they say yes, I know 100% beyond any shadow of a doubt that when Claire Jordan says that she's going to make these calls with me and she'll look at the evidence, I know 100% beyond any shadow of a doubt that she's never going to. Because when it comes time to do so, she's going to do the pity me, poor me, I have kids, I have kids, I have kids. Now then there's the things that we're supposed to do. Remain active, avoid isolation. With all due respect, I have to be isolated to avoid the abuse. It says, and cultivate a strong support network of family or friends. Oh, I had that. I had that until I fucked up my back and couldn't wipe their asses for them anymore. It says, be active in taking care of your health problems. Do what you can to remain healthy. I'm trying, but it's hard to remain healthy when going out in public results in me being threatened, harassed, and even assaulted. Says avoid signing documents or transferring money or property to anyone without first getting legal advice. I can't get legal advice. The legal advice that I've been given is to go to friends or family. Friends or family, right fucking there. Family member or a friend, right there. Family member or a friend. Family member or a friend. That's the legal advice that I get. They give me this legal advice right here. Record everything. Write it down. Turn it in right away with a friend or family member over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And it's like I'm speaking French to people who only understand Spanish. It's like I'm speaking English to people who only understand mud. I mean, come on now. Is there not one good person in this entire goddamn country?